And now, Suspense. Your host is Autolite, maker of a complete line of ignition-engineered spark plugs, including the sensational wide-gap Autolite resistor spark plugs and the dependable Autolite Stay-Full battery. Autolite makes over 400 products for cars and trucks, bumpers and hubcaps, radiator grills and ornaments, bullseye seal beam headlights, ignition systems, spark plugs, batteries, fuel pumps, windshield wipers, instruments and gauges, wire and battery cable, and many more. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite. And now, Autolite and its 96,000 dealers everywhere presents Suspense.
Well, good night, Mrs. Flaherty.
Good night, Dr. Malone.
In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, 'twas there that I first met sweet Molly Malone. Here, come now. Pull yourself together. You can't be out there sleeping in doorways in weather like this. Now, come on now, be a good fellow. On your way now.
Good evening, Officer Malone.
Good evening to you, Miss Lamont.
Going off duty?
Just about to call in.
Say, could you stay and have a beer with me? I got something I want to hash over with you.
Well, some other time. I'm going to have dinner with me son tonight. He just got his strike today. A full-fledged cop.
Like father, like son.
Ah, no, he's an educated boy. He'll be a detective one day.
I guess that's easier on the feet.
Hey, this is something new, isn't it?
Yeah, new idea of the bosses. Paper hats and false mustaches. Puts the customers in a gay 90s mood.
Well, I think I'll just take one of these false mustaches to me landlady's little boy. I think he'd like it.
That one's all crooked. Here, take this one.
Well, I think this is the more comical of the two. I'll keep it. Well, good night, Miss Lamont.
Good night.
Bells on, we told, elephants to ride upon. Officer Malone reporting. Yep. Oh, are you still there?
Hello? You better send over the morgue wagon. Some citizen just threw a slug in him.
They gave me this stuff at the morgue, labeled personal. Watch, wallet, false mustache. And my old man's badge.
I never thought your old man's badge would be turned in that way, Johnny.
I don't suppose I could, keep it just to remember him by?
It's against regulation. You know. When an officer terminates his service with the department, his badge must be duly surrendered.
Surrendered? What a word to use for a man who got shot in the back.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I suppose you'll want a week off? Look after the funeral and so on?
No. I want to be transferred.
Transferred?
To the Bowery, my old man's beat.
Well, that's not my department, Malone.
Fix it with the commissioner?
He wouldn't put a rookie on a job like that. It's too tough.
All right. Then I guess I'll put in for that vacation.
I don't like the way you say that, Malone.
Why not? You afraid I'll show you boys up?
If I thought that, I'd put you on the case.
All right, then do it. You can put anybody on the confidential squad.
You're not qualified.
Not yet. Qualified or not, I'm going after the rotten punk that killed my old man, and I'm going to get him.
Maybe he'll get you first.
That's a chance I got to take.
Johnny, this is no killing by a Bowery hoodlum. Your father was on that beat for 30 years. Everybody loved him. Even the grifters he had to haul in. No, this killing was cold, ruthless, impersonal. And it's got to be closed out by police work in the same way.
Police work? You haven't even traced the gun.
We will. We'll get him, Johnny.
All right. You keep on your way. I'll go on mine.
I can't stop you, Johnny. But I wish you'd think it over before you do anything rash.
I'll think it over. I'll think it over plenty, because I won't sleep until the guy that killed my old man lies in a slab with a tag on his ankle.
I wish you wouldn't. Well, here, you can take the rest of this stuff. It's not evidence.
My dad's watch. He used to let me wind it for him when I was a kid.
Ah, a false mustache. Funny thing for your father to be having in his pocket.
He used to fix stuff up like that all the time for the landlady's kid, the way he did for me when... Nuts.
Ah, a song sheet. Well, your father was always fond of the old-time songs. Molly Malone. That was his favorite. Johnny, there's very little a person can say to anyone at a time like this, but you know what I'd want to say.
Oh, no, sir. Thanks, Captain.
Never mind the formalities. Start on that vacation tonight.
Thanks again.
And keep out of the Bowery. Send in Priscilla. Oh, come in, Tony.
Oh, Captain.
Sit down.
If you don't mind, I'm a little edgy. What'd Johnny say?
Isn't what he said, what he didn't say. You're his best friend on the force, aren't you?
Well, we went to school together, PS 62. I guess you might say we're old friends.
Then talk to him, will you? This is a job for homicide. He isn't going to square thing for his old man by getting himself shot in the back.
But, Captain, he's got nothing to go on. We haven't even traced the gun yet.
He's got something. Perhaps it's only a hunch. But maybe it's a good one.
Oh, Johnny.
Oh, Tony?
I hear you didn't get your transfer.
No, but I got a vacation.
Huh? Where you going?
What do you think?
Oh, Johnny, don't be a sap. You're no detective. They always get cop killers.
Not this one. I'm going to get this one.
Oh, Johnny, use your head. Think, why was he killed?
I think he knew something. I think they killed him to shut him up.
And you're going to try to find out who it was, right? Oh, you act this way, Johnny, and they'll be gunning for you. It won't make your mother any happier to lose you, too.
Happy. You should have seen her face when I told her. All the life went out of it. That's another thing I'm going to pay that killer back for. The way her eyes looked. Like the whole bottom had dropped out of a whirl. You still asking me not to go after him, Tony?
Yeah, and for one reason, you don't stand a chance.
Maybe.
Get out and stay out.
What do you have, bud? Give me a shot. Hey, bud. There's your drink. Help yourself.
Care for a souvenir of Herman's Bowery Music Hall?
Do I look like a tourist?
You're not a Bowery regular unless you just moved in.
Yeah, the Bowery has its points. Have a shot. I might decide to stay.
If you'll excuse the expression, you have the appearance of one who was hung on one too many.
Well, I started out a couple of days ago looking for a lost friend.
Whom is your friend? Perhaps I've made the acquaintance.
They call him Dog.
Sorry, I don't know any gents by that name. If you want to play with those things, I'll give you one of them.
Sorry. About dogs.
If he should show, whom shall I say was asking for him?
Murphy. Johnny Murphy.
Murphy. Murphy. Not Ice Cold Johnny Murphy from Queens.
Huh?
Herman, this gentleman is none other than Ice Cold Johnny Murphy from Queens.
Pleased to meet you.
Johnny, I can't talk freely in front of that lug, but if you move to a table later on, we can resume our conversation.
Fair enough.
Who's in George tomorrow?
None of your business. But if I find out, I'll leave you know.
You find out what, Silly?
Oh, hello, doll.
I told you never to call me by that name. Remember that.
Don't worry. I'll remember.
Take over the piano. Cyril and me got business to talk over.
Yeah.
Anybody asks for me, I'm in the back room.
Fine.
You want I should play your request, sir?
Yeah, Molly Malone.
Is that it?
Yes. What is it you wanted to tell me?
In the first place, you're no more Ice Cold Johnny Murphy from Queens than I am.
Who am I?
I don't know. But if you're after Dolph Romano, I can help you.
Why are you so anxious to put the B on it?
I've got my reasons. Where'd you get that?
I found it among your souvenirs. It's as neat a way of pushing dope as I ever saw.
Honestly, Johnny, all I want to do is get out from under.
Now, how badly do you want to?
Not bad enough to sing until Dolph is in the pokey.
Did he kill Malone?
Don't say that name out loud in here. It's enough to get you murdered.
You don't have to say it. Just say yes or no.
Honestly, Johnny, all the time I've known that guy, I've never seen him with his gloves on.
What does that mean?
The man who shot that cop had a tattoo mark on the back of his hand. An anchor.
An anchor.
Who is this character that's been asking for me? I'll show you. That ain't Johnny Murphy.
I know it ain't, but he says he is.
All right, we make like we believe him. Cyril,
Yeah.
go get him, bring him here.
What if he's a dick?
He ain't.
You know who he is?
I ain't sure, but I think we better make sure.
Okay, Cyril, see what his pitch is.
Norman says you want to see Dolph. All right. Once I should find out what you want to see him about. Take a miss. Well, I got a whole boatload of stuff, just like it. I think you'll see it. Wait here.
Johnny, don't go in there. I don't like the look on that weasel's face.
Yeah, I got that too. How long has he been wearing that bandage?
Couple of weeks. But then he's only worked here a couple of weeks.
Bandage, gloves. What kind of hands does Herman have?
I don't know. Keeps his hands in his pockets a lot.
Yeah?
Johnny, you're not going in there packing a rod, are you? I'd leave the underarm artillery outside if I was you.
Why?
To show your good faith, if you'll pardon the expression.
Maybe you're right. Well, where can I stash it?
Under the hat.
You wouldn't
give me a bum steer, would you, Billy?
Johnny, all I want to do is get even with Dolph for a month.
Any exits in there? Fire escapes?
No, there's only one door. Johnny, don't go in there. That's why they shot that cop. Because he found out their racket.
Okay.
Come in.
In just a moment, we'll see the second act of this evening's suspense story. But right now, friends, I'd like you to meet a very special celebrity from south of the border. Yes, it's the magnificent Miguel, the world-famous matador, and he's a very proud fellow. On bullfight days, he's driven to the arena in style in his long limousine. Hey, but look at that. Well, it seems our temperamental matador has a temperamental battery, and his car refuses to start. Magnificent Miguel is mad. And our belligerent bull? Well, he's baffled by that faulty battery. Well, friends, you know the trouble with Miguel's battery was that it ran dry because of extreme loss of water. And that's one of the major causes of battery failure. So we offered Miguel the simple solution to that situation. We offered him a world-famous Autolite Stay Full battery. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Now, let me show you why. You see, the ordinary battery has small particles that keep flaking off the positive plate. So the ordinary battery has to have a large space in the bottom of the case to hold those particles. Otherwise, they'll get together and short-circuit the cells. But there's a big difference in the new Autolite Stay Full battery. In the Stay Full battery, every positive plate has a fiberglass retaining mat protecting it, holding the active materials in place. You see, there's the fiberglass, the feature that gives a real advantage to the Autolite Stay Full battery. Now, whereas the ordinary battery requires this much extra space below the plates, the Autolite Stay Full battery doesn't need all that extra space. So we can take the extra space and use it to advantage by putting it up above the plates. Now, if we put electrolyte in both batteries, enough to cover the plates completely, there's space left for extra water. But whereas an ordinary battery holds only this much extra water, the Autolite Stay Full battery with that extra space above the plates holds over 3 times as much water. That gives you over 3 times the liquid protection of ordinary batteries. And that's why you have to add water to your Autolite Stay Full battery only 3 times a year in normal car use. And say, here's another fact that I told Miguel. In recent tests conducted according to the life cycle standards of the Society of Automotive Engineers, the Autolite Stay Full battery was found to give 70% longer average life than batteries without the Stay Full features. Well, we fixed up the Matador with a new Autolite Stay Full battery, and he was on his way. Yes, it was magnificent as Miguel, that masterful matador, made his triumphant entrance. The crowd roared, the bull roared, and the contest was on. Bravo, senor! What's the secret of your success? Ah, but of course, you're always right with Autolite. Now, the second act of our suspense story, My Old Man's Bag.
Frisk him. Sit down. I hear you got a proposition for me?
Yeah. Only I don't talk business with a gun on me.
You were very smart not to pack a rod in here.
Well, that wasn't me. Your girlfriend took care of that for you.
Well, Billy, I thought she was mad at me.
Maybe she is. You can't ever tell about a woman, Tom.
How do you know my name?
Thought everybody knew.
I ain't gone by that name since I left Chicago.
Maybe I got it from a tattoo artist.
What's he talking about, a tattoo artist?
Or was it you, Cyril, that he mentioned? I can't quite remember.
What's this about a tattoo mark?
The guy who killed that cop had a tattoo mark on his hand. An anchor design.
And what's your interest in that cop?
Nothing. I just don't want to be mixed up with anybody wanted for cop killing.
What makes you think we got anything to do with it?
I don't. I just want to make sure.
Now, look, now. We know you're not Johnny Murphy. Now, who are you? Now, spit it out. We haven't got all night. Search him. See that watch? So you're Malone's little boy. That's too bad.
Well, that watch doesn't prove anything. That's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. He could be wrong.
Yeah, if you're dead, we can't be wrong.
Let's finish him off and get rid of the stiff later.
Are you nuts? We're hot enough now as it is. All we need is a dead body to burn a hole in the floor. I got an idea. Get Billy.
What's going on in here?
Come here. Give me some of that stuff.
What for?
Don't ask so many questions.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'll get it. Half the guys in this place are wearing these gadgets. The cops see us taking them out, or a couple of Johns taking a drunk friend out for some air. Get them up.
Sure you saw him come in here?
Could have sworn it was him.
I'll take a look around, see if there's any other exit.
All right, Captain. Still out?
Yeah, I think so.
If he comes to and yells cops, we're cooked. We better do it right here. Are you crazy? Shut up. Remember that number you used to do with Billy? With you and the drums, Tarara Boom DA?
What about it?
He did a flock of rim shots on the drums. Sounded almost like gunshots.
Are you kidding? You can't.
Now look, he won't look more dead than he does now. Be sure to make it loud enough to cover our fire. The third chorus. Second shot. Herman, squeeze the trigger.
Yeah.
No other exit. What a fire trap. What's in there?
Oh, tables, chairs. Big crowd left after the second show. Maybe we missed him.
Maybe he tried to give you the slip. Come on. We'll take a look at that joint down the street.
What's the big idea? Sorry, but my friend here, he's a little drunk.
I ought to turn a bunch of you in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Herman's Bowery Music Hall now presents its final show of the evening.
Come on,
Right,
Tony.
guys.
More important to us. Come
On
on.
sax and myself doing the vocalistic honors. Ta-ra-ra, Bundia! Sweet tuxedo maker, queen of high society, fond of guns and fun can be when it's on the bricks you see. I'm not too young, I'm not too old, not too timid, not too bold. Just the type you like to hold, just the type of what I'm told.
Wait a minute. I want to sing here. I want to sing, see, and they don't want me to sing. Wouldn't you like to hear me?
Listen, you, if you think you can do so good, come on up here and do it. Let him come up, let him just...
Thank you. Very much. Hey, what do you folks want to hear? I'd like to hear. Don't answer that. Buck, you know Molly Malone?
Sure he does. Go on, play it for him. Come on, play.
Dublin's fair city, where girls are so pretty. It was there that I first met sweet Molly Malone.
What's he doing? Let him stall. You, Harmon, you go cover the front entrance. Sarah and me to cover it here.
And muscles, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, singing muscles and muscles, alive, alive, oh, in Dublin's fair city, where girls are so pretty. It was there that I first met sweet Molly Malone. She pushed a wheelbarrow.
What if he gets that coat box? And he'd get it like his old man.
Singing muscles and muscles, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, muscles and muscles.
Johnny, look out!
Keep him inside there. All right, folks, get back in there.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead. Who is he? The guy who killed my father. Are you sure? Yes, you won't need any proof now.
I can prove it. I'm a witness.
Why didn't you come forward before?
Because of one thing, Dolph Romano, that I want to see hanged by the neck until dead.
And who's he?
He's the boss of that outfit. This is the trigger man.
And where are the rest of them?
Inside. Don't worry, they'll stay there. This is their alibi.
Well, I better tell you something now, Johnny. You know, you've gone against orders. You'll have to give up your badge.
Yeah? I figured that.
I don't suppose you got it with you?
Oh?
Well, this is a little irregular, but I think I'd better hand you this now. Here. You've more than earned it.
Old man's badge.
This is Rex Marshall speaking for Autolite, and in just a moment I'll tell you about next week's suspense story. But first I'd like to remind you that this is the time to treat your car or truck to a motor tune-up. Yes, sir, and when I say motor tune-up, I mean a real #1 tune-up at your nearby service station, car dealer, garage, or repair shop. You know, friends, an ounce of prevention is worth a great deal right now in saving you from troublesome delays and the possibility of expensive repairs later on. Why don't you ask your repairman to test and service the electrical system of your car, including the distributor, coil, generator and regulator, starting motor, battery, spark plugs, and wiring. And if your Autolite-equipped car needs replacement parts, ask for and insist on Autolite original factory parts, exactly like those that were installed by the manufacturer. You know, all Autolite parts are engineered to fit together perfectly, work together perfectly, because they're a perfect team. So don't accept electrical parts supposed to be as good. Ask for and insist on Autolite original factory parts. Remember, you're always right with Autolite. Our suspense story next week will be The Second Class Passenger, starring Monica Boya and Leslie Nielsen. Also, be sure to listen to Suspense each Thursday night on your radio.
This is CBS, where every Tuesday night you see television's great theater of thrills, Suspense, on the Columbia Broadcasting System.